don't think that the upcoming budget is going to be overly expansionary. Yes, we do have tax cuts, but that's only going to give back a little bit of what's been clawed away from household budgets through bracket creep over the last couple of years. So, you know, by no means is it austerity, but I don't think the taps are flowing either. The signal that we're getting from the real economy at present is very, very weak. You mentioned the very weak retail sales print. You put that into per capita terms, and, you know, it does show that demand has been reined in a very big way. It could just be that it takes a bit more time for that to flow through to inflation. If you look at other kind of signals that expectations might be creeping up, there's not a lot of evidence there just yet. So I do have confidence that inflation will come back down and continue to keep coming back down. It's going to be a very protracted process, but again, the RBA's signaled that they're prepared to be patient for some time now.
Sean, it's Lynn joining in on the conversation. And certainly when we look at the CPI, it does seem to be quite stubborn, that last bit to get that it down to that 2 to 3%. And I'm just, you know, wondering, particularly when you look at the drivers of inflation, you were mentioning the rent side of things, you know, we look at medical bills as well as, you know, university and other tertiary education. Those things are seemingly more inelastic. So how are we going to get down to that level, in your view, if we don't hike?
Yeah, look, you're right to point out the persistence and the breadth of the inflation pressures at present. There'll still be a little bit of relief to come through on the good side of things. So, you know, it's a weaker demand environment, especially for consumer durables at present. And a lot of those prices are still very, very elevated relative to a pre-pandemic trend. So a little bit more softness to come through there. Some of the strength that we've seen in things like health, insurance as well, is a bit of an indexing to previous inflation outcomes, which were very high and have kind of cycled and rolled over now. And equally, that's going to be front of mind for the Fair Work Commission when they meet soon. And they'll give a kind of a more modest increase in minimum and award wages this year. So the overall momentum is down back toward the target. You know, inflation does have a 3 handle now, which is fantastic. But I certainly agree it's going to be protracted from here. But there are reasons to believe it will keep coming down further.